Well, this just isn't fair. Yao Ming's got a good foot on Vince, even though Carter obviously has some hops.
Well, let's see what happens with the hops. Gonna jump it up again.
Where's Frederick Weiss when we need him?
Oh, Vince got it.
And Carter out-jumped him.
We back?
It's been a long time, so it feels like.
Yeah.
Is this the first one since spring break? Yeah, it is. 'Cause
Yeah.
we didn't do it last
Yeah.
week. Yeah, but we're back. The whole March Madness happened. This right?
Yeah.
Since the last one we did.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of crazy. We just missed that whole thing. I don't want to talk about the whole thing because that's just old news at this point. You know, like if we go back to talking about Trae Young and that. Let's just talk about the Final Four. So, Villanova is the champion. Clearly the best team in the entire tournament. I know you, being Michigan native, cheering on both Michigan teams. What were you thinking going into that first game against Loyola Chicago?
I already knew we were a better team, and I already knew we were gonna be at the championship. Just how the cards were dealt for us in the tournament. So I already knew what was gonna happen with Loyola. So I was just looking forward to playing Villanova in the championship, just because I knew they were gonna handle Kansas as well.
I got to see Michigan play against Montana because they had tournament games in Wichita. And then they almost lost that next game to Houston when Poole hit that game-winning three. I wasn't sure about Michigan. I knew Mo Wagner was a good player, but besides that, I didn't really know anything about the whole team. But they looked good throughout the tournament after that. Houston was a good team, but they had their issues in both of those first two games. But Villanova, man, like that was one of the best college basketball teams I've seen. They got a couple of NBA guys, and DiVincenzo just took over. How did that feel watching that? Cause being on the opposing side.
We stopped their key players, so that first portion of the first half, we came out strong.
Yeah.
They were so used to posting up like athletic guards on the block, they couldn't do that with us. So when he came into the game, everything changed. We just didn't have an answer. That's all there is to it, really. He just came out, hitting everything, getting everybody involved, setting up teammates for easy buckets in the paint. So we simply didn't have an answer for him when he came in, and he contributed impactful 31 points at the end.
Yeah, I saw him in a couple of games before, and I was like, whoa, like, cause he's got that, he's got that sneaky athleticism that they always talk about. I didn't know, like, that block that he had. Yeah. I
don't know why he tried to dribble though. Usually in basketball, we're taught when we're right at the rim, keep the ball high, pump fake, clear space, and go back up. He went up, brought it back down, which gave him a chance to come over for that block off the glass.
Oh, you're talking about that one?
Yeah, that one too.
I was talking about the one where he just met him at the rim.
Oh, that one.
The two-handed one, yeah. But that one was actually, that might have been better.
Yeah.
He showed off his bounce. I don't know. In slow-mo, the two-handed one looks better than the other one. But his whole game, that was special. And then, Mikal Bridges, a top 10 pick. The reason I'm kind of like, I don't know about him is he's really like so unaggressive. Yeah. Like, how they used to talk about Andrew Wiggins when he was at KU?
Yeah.
That was the knock, that he was unaggressive. But like Mikal Bridges would just like float through an entire game. But he picked it up as the game went on. But like you were saying, Michigan came out strong, and it looked like it might be a close game the whole way. But Villanova started hitting a little bit more. The pressure, they couldn't keep up that pressure the whole game.
Yeah.
But yeah, let's go. That was a great run for Villanova this season.
Congrats to Michigan on a memorable season, even though they didn't win it all. They'll go down as one of the greatest teams to ever go to Michigan. Unlike under the Fab Five, of course. So
yeah, but they took those away, didn't they? That's a whole nother rant for another day. That still happened. So, but yeah, let's get into the NBA playoff race. So there's about, depending on the team, there's about 4 to 6 games left in the NBA season. The playoff teams are pretty much set at this point. The Western Conference is where there's still a little bit of we don't know who might make it. So in the West, the 1 seed is the Rockets, 2 Warriors, 3 Trailblazers, 4 Jazz, 5 Spurs, 6 Thunder, 7 Timberwolves, 8 Pelicans, and then 9 and 10 Nuggets and Clippers are within a game of the Pelicans. Who do you see coming out making the playoffs out of? So it's we'll probably say the Thunder are a lock, but Timberwolves, Pelicans, Nuggets, and Clippers.
It depends on how great Anthony Davis and Cat plays for their teams going forward. But I really like the Nuggets. Like I've been saying that all year. Jamal Murray, Jokic, Gary Harris, all those guys, they're solid players. Anthony Davis and the Pelicans can't slip up at all, or else the Nuggets would take that 8th spot easily. Even though the Lakers are out of it, there's always next year. Kind of disappointed, but trust the process.
They had a 33 wins with a couple games left. That's a good number for, Lonzo's been out a lot.
Yeah.
Brandon Ingram has been out throughout the season. I think Randall was out at one point. And with all the trades, 33, you'll live with that if you're a Lakers fan.
Yeah, I'm definitely living with it. It's better than 17. I'm just saying.
Yeah, and you got a lot of stuff to grow on. But yeah, the Pelicans have lost 4 games in a row.
Yeah.
The Nuggets have won 3 in a row. Clippers beat the Spurs last night. Warriors beat the Thunder without Steph. Russ went off, but it wasn't enough because Melo and Paul George continue to play under par. I don't know what's going on. Paul George cannot shoot at all since the All-Star break. Everything is just back rim. I don't know, get some shots up, something. And that's one of my favorite players. So then we've got the Clippers. I don't know. I think the Pelicans will stay put, if I had to guess. But the Nuggets, they're right there. They're just 1 behind in the loss column. Clippers, 2 behind in each column. And I'd rather see the Pelicans. I like Drew Holiday. I think he's really good. And Anthony Davis. You always want the stars in the game. But how many games do you think the Pelicans could beat? You think the Pelicans could take a game from the Rockets or not? To me it seems like a sweep. Now I'm thinking about it. What about the Nuggets? You think the Nuggets could get a game?
I think they can.
I think so
personally. I just think the Pelicans don't have enough firepower or enough pieces set to compete with the Rockets and eventually win the game in the series. If they have Boogie, it'll be a different story just because of the lack of pieces the Rockets have in the paint. So
that's a shame that Boogie got hurt because it would get extremely interesting if Boogie was there. Because they're a matchup problem for any team in the entire league.
Right.
Because they have two dominant bigs. Let's go to the East. The East is pretty much set. Actually, I think it is set. The Pistons have won 5 games in a row and are making a late push, but I'm pretty sure that the Pistons would have to win all of their games and the Bucks lose all of their games, or the Heat or the Wizards, in order for them to make the playoffs. Right now, the Raptors play the Bucks first round.
Warriors, of course, Rockets, and
Pull it back up.
Warriors, Rockets, and Trailblazers.
Trailblazers, huh?
No, Thunder. I meant if they step up, the key players step up. I mean, Russ shows how far he could take them by himself.
Yeah.
So if he just has that support, I think they could go really far and have a chance to win it all. Those are my 3 teams from the West. On the East, the Cavs, the Sixers, and the Celtics.
After that, the Raptors lost last night to the Cavs. You just out?
I mean, we already know who's gonna be in the finals. Like we're not.
Who is it?
Cavs.
How can we just say that?
Because we already know. To be honest, I think the Sixers have a most legitimate chance of dethroning the Cavs. But as far as I'm concerned, the Cavs have showed that they're better than the Raptors in the regular season, and they're even better in the playoffs because LeBron takes it to a whole nother level.
Yeah.
So that's how I look at it from that term. But yeah, my favorites are the Cavs, Sixers, and the Celtics out of the East to win it.
I really like the 76ers team. How they're built, a whole bunch of shooters. You got Ben Simmons running the whole thing, and Embiid manning down low, which I don't know if he'll be back for that first series, but it could be vital in how far they go. But they've still been winning games without him.
Yeah.
My boy Markelle Fultz came back, and the Twitter streets have died down on the slander. Every jump shot is not being critiqued at this point, which is good. So he can just play his game. Which, if people actually watched, he's gonna be really good. Like his ability to get to the rim and set up his teammates.
Right.
I think that he's gonna be a special player for them down the line. This year, I don't know, because Brett Brown only wants to play him like 15 minutes a game and play guys like T.J. McConnell over him, which that's crazy, but. Hey, he's the coach. We all know the Cavs. I don't know about the Celtics. I feel about the same with them as I do the Raptors. Kyrie is going to be out. And once you get into the playoffs, if you have 2 young guys, which their best players offensively are really Jaylen Brown. Actually, 3. Jaylen Brown, Rozier, and Jason Tatum are going to be leading them. I don't know how much they can do because, once you get into the playoffs, you see who's really been in the league. And Al Horford is just not a guy you can depend on for those kind of buckets. But the Raptors, I feel down on them because they're the Raptors. And once playoff time comes around, they tend to shrink. And we definitely saw that last night. DeRozan didn't take a shot until like the end of the first quarter. Kyle Lowry was getting destroyed by Jose Calderon. If you're a Raptors fan, I'd be
worried.
concerned.
Be worried. That's all I'm saying.
Definitely. Let's head back to the West just for this right here. The Spurs can't win 50 wins this season, which breaks their streak of 19 years in a row.
Mm-hmm.
Beginning in the Duncan rookie year. They've had their share of controversy this season, which is kind of crazy because they never do. But what are your thoughts on Kawhi this season and any possible trade scenarios?
He has stated that he wants to continue to play in San Antonio. And there's like no bad blood, but I see him moving. And this might be biased, but I see him going to the Lakers. I always see people going to the Lakers.
The Lakers have not gotten anyone ever since like Shaq.
Then we're due for a superstar. Then
Maybe.
I'm just saying. I think people. I think if the Spurs give up, I don't think they're gonna let him give him up that easy. They're gonna either pay him or want something,
Like big time,
top tier for them to be able to give him up. But as far as I'm concerned, I don't think the Lakers have anything to give up at this point. What do you think?
I haven't really thought about the Lakers trade scenarios, or if they just waited it out until he became a free agent. I'm not sure what his contract is. I'm gonna look it up right now.
Yeah, I was speaking in terms of free agency.
I know.
Yeah.
Let's see. Okay, so he's not a free agent until, well, he has a player option for the season after next season. So he's a free agent after next season, so I guess that's not that long. But he could opt in to San Antonio and get more money,
Yeah.
But personally, I think I've been thinking about Cleveland. Now, I saw Boston also, but depending on, because superstars usually don't get the return that they deserve. The only time I can see a team actually getting equal in a trade offer was Melo when New York gave up pretty much their whole team for Melo. But the Cavs could put something together, with the Brooklyn pick. That has a good chance of being top 5. George Hill, the little reunion factor, and Cavs got a dump salary. And somebody along the lines of Jetty Osman, who's a good young player, and maybe Zizic, another good young player, or whoever else they want. Clarkson. I think Nance is off the table, but if it gets Kawhi, I think they would do it. I don't know, but it'd be really interesting if it was LeBron and Kawhi on the same team. You got CP3 and Harden, KD and Curry, and then if you had LeBron and Kawhi, that'd be something right there. That'd rival Jordan Pippen kind of stuff. I don't know. I think he probably ends up staying in San Antonio. I don't know what his whole injury issue is about. I don't think we'll ever know until after the whole season is over or years down the line. But it's just kind of strange how he just hasn't been playing. But some of his teammates, coaches seem to believe that he could still get out there on the court right now. So I just mentioned the Nets pick. Who do you want to see get the number 1 pick this year? It could be for any reason.
Who do I want to see, or who needs it the most?
Either one. Whichever one you feel like.
Yeah. I really want to see Dallas get it. I know they won't, but the number one pick, I think in my opinion should be Bagley, and the combination of Dennis Smith and Bagley will be so deadly going down in the future. So that's who I want to see it, but Phoenix needs it, so I'm gonna go with them.
They might be able to get, if Dallas can stop winning games. If they lose to Orlando tonight, they'll move back into that 4 spot. They could have a good chance of getting Bagley at 4.
Okay.
Depending on who Atlanta chose. I don't know. Because they all got to go through workouts and whatever. There's always people who climb up after they work out for a team. So I think Bagley could go anywhere from 1 to 5, just depending on who gets it and whatever. I want to see the Cavs get the number 1 pick.
Yeah.
But besides that, I'd probably like to see the Knicks get number 1. There's always just a lot of hype around whenever the Knicks. Actually, take that away. I don't care about if the Knicks got it, but if the Clippers got it somehow, I think that would be really funny, especially if it's with Detroit's pick.
Yeah.
Being they just traded Blake Griffin and Tobias Harris is playing like just as good as Blake Griffin was. That would be interesting. Also, it'd be interesting if the Lakers pick goes number 1. That would go to Philly, but if it goes 2 through 5, then Boston gets it. So somehow, if that would be really interesting too, because then Boston gets another asset. I mean, they're almost at the point where I don't know who they're going to play next.
Yeah.
Like, they'll have Kyrie, like, who are you going to sit, Jaylen Brown or Tatum?
Right.
Or if I was the coach, I'd start all 3 of them. Put Brown at the 2, Hayward at the 3, and Tatum at the 4 with Horford. And just see what happens.
Yeah.
I don't know. There's still a lot of, even with these 3 to 5 games left for each team, there can still be a lot of movement. All right. We're back.
Jump off.
So, the 2018 Hall of Famers were announced. Now, we're gonna just talk about the NBA guys who got in. Ray Allen, Steve Nash, Jason Kidd, and Grant Hill. Chris Webber has been up for Hall of Fame nomination for several years, but they, for whatever reason, they just keep snubbing him. I don't understand if it's like a Michigan their whole issue, but he went to 2 championship games in college, had a 6 year run of being like a top 5 big man in the league, All NBA, All Star. I think that's good enough for the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
He didn't win any rings, but he was at the top of his game and had other contributions, like I mentioned, in college. So I don't know why he's not in. He'll probably get in next year because people are complaining. But do you have any memories of these 4 guys?
Ray Allen specifically. The finals in 2008 against the Lakers. I didn't really appreciate it then because I was hurt because I was a Lakers fan. But he torched us, man. That finals, and Paul Pierce as well. But the most memorable moment was when he was in the Heat and hit that clutch 3.
Should the Spurs foul?
Should Miami go for the three right away?
Just attack the basket.
James catches, puts up a three. Won't go. Rebound Bosch. Back out to Allen. His three-pointer. Bang! Tie game with 5 seconds remaining. Spurs do not have a timeout. But the officials are going to review to see if Allen was behind the line. Chris Bosch with the huge offensive rebound. And now instant replay, enormous.
And Mike, Tim Duncan out of the game leads to the second shot, and clearly a three-point shot.
They confirmed that it was a three, and the Spurs had a chance to talk this over.
To tie the game, I was watching. That was on my birthday, my 13th birthday. I was watching the game with my friends at my house in the living room. I'm thinking the Spurs won. They were up by 3. All they had to do was get a stop, get a rebound, and they were going to foul and eventually win. Then Ray Allen hit that clutch 3 from the corner. Tie it, eventually go to overtime, and they eventually won it. So I would say that was my most memorable moment from Ray Allen.
Yeah, that was ridiculous. I'm cheering for LeBron. He missed that. He breaks that 3.
Yeah.
He made the one before off of 2 chances. I was like, they shooting again? Chris Bosh gets that rebound, kicks it out Ray Allen. Like, it just happened so fast.
Yeah.
It went from the Heat just lost to we're going to overtime just like that.
Yeah.
So that's pretty memorable. He also went for, I think he went for 51 in the finals against the Lakers in 2010 when they lost, which is pretty crazy. Steve Nash, probably one of my favorite memories of Steve.
Parker will slow it down. And a foul call on Nash as Parker's shaken up. Nash checking to make sure he's okay. Did you see the cut there?
There's Angelo Dundee when you need him. Ferdy Pacheco.
Nasty collision with the 2 bump heads. Got to get the bleeding to stop before they can let him come back in the game.
Big foul shot from Tim Duncan. Bring in Bruce Bowen off the Spurs bench to try to harass Steve Nash defensively.
Nash, that's a 3. Bang! Steve Nash from downtown to tie the game.
You have to come out and contest the shot of Tony Parker.
Nash to the basket, scoop layup. And a foul as well. Nash says, wait a minute, I'm ready to go back.
Didn't wait for the coach to send him in. I'm going in, coach.
So Nash is okay. Now, I don't know, depending, Boris Diaw checked into the game. He may have to stay in for a possession, and they might have to take somebody else out. I think Diaw has to stay in the game. Once a player is put in, you have to stay in for a possession, or at least have a tick go off the clock. Instead, Mike D'Antoni, now you can change that by calling a timeout.
And the smart play is to get a timeout to assure Steve Nash getting back into the ballgame because they still have to take care of the blood issue.
Right, now Diaw's going to come back in. Nash doing everything to get back in the game, obviously trying to wash out some blood that's gotten in the eyes. That thing just, it won't stop bleeding. So desperate to get back in the game.
One of those San Antonio Phoenix series, and his nose was just bleeding crazy, like everywhere. I remember that had to be like 2006 or something like that, somewhere in there. But it was just going crazy, and he just managed to like keep going. Like it was, I was thinking this dude is crazy. Like I didn't I liked Steve Nash's game, but I always thought he was a weirdo because he kind of looked like Lord Farquaad from Shrek. And he kept putting his hair back every possession. But he was really good. Grant Hill, I don't really have that many memories of because he wasn't very good when I was able to remember what basketball was going on. Jason Kidd, probably my favorite memory of Jason Kidd would probably be when he was in Like Mike.
Yes.
Whole run-in with Calvin Cambridge talking about
it's Kid. Looking back at it.
Got to go back to the sandbox.
25 points a game. Not tonight. You just need to get back to that sandbox where you came from.
Sandbox?
Yeah.
Listen, I gotta go to sandbox. Your last name, keep looking back at yours.
Relax.
All of a sudden, things are clicking for the Knights. Ever since Calvin's arrived, there's teamwork.
Finals. And I was always wondering, my mom told me I would ask her, like, why isn't Jason Kidd and Tony Parker dunking the ball? I just thought everybody could dunk. Because I was a Jordan fan when I was little. But yeah, watching him in those early 2000s finals was one of my memories of Jason Kidd. But yeah, this is a pretty good class. In a couple years, there's going to be like, what is it? KG, Tim Duncan, Paul Pierce, Kobe.
Yep.
They're going to be in the same one, I think.
Yeah.
That's going to be the best one. But yeah, congrats to those guys. Let's get into all NBA teams. Now, the end of the season is next week, so we'll do like MVP, six man, all that stuff next week. But right now, let's do all NBA teams. So, to give a little basis for you, I've got my list. Now let me pull that up. So first team, I've got Harden, Lillard, LeBron, KD, and Anthony Davis. You go ahead and look at those teams right there.
I don't see any issues. I really agree with all this, to be honest.
Yeah, so I had to double check to make sure because I released the ballots today to the people who actually vote on this. But they have AD listed as a center. Where it changes up is LaMarcus Aldridge is also listed as a center. Like he can be a center or a forward. So I don't know if I thought about it a little longer if I'd change it. But yeah, Harden, Lillard, LeBron, KD, AD. With the KD versus Giannis was the hardest one right there. KD's team just has more wins.
Yeah.
So I go there. Second team, Russell Westbrook, Steph Curry, Giannis, Jimmy Butler, and Embiid. I got to double check Jimmy Butler's games played because I know they always talk about that. But when he was playing, he was an MVP candidate. The T-Wolves were so much better. And then the third team, again, Kyrie with the injuries and how good the Celtics have played without him. CP3, Paul George, LaMarcus Aldridge, Karl-Anthony Towns. Kyrie or Oladipo, I don't want to shade, like, Oladipo has really brought this team I thought was going to be
Trash.
high lottery to the playoffs, top 5 seed. I wish I could give him some kind of consideration, but you gotta give Chris Paul that consideration too,
Right.
because of how good the Rockets have been. But yeah, I thought there'd be more controversy in this. I thought you would disagree somewhere.
No,
It's really not that.
I can't agree. I can't disagree with your first team because every one of them has been playing on another level this year. Lillard, Harden, Bron, AD with Boogie gone, and then KD with Curry gone. So yeah, I can't find anything to disagree with.
Yeah, the one place I guess you could find something is Lillard. Maybe you could see Russ, since he might average a triple-double again. He's averaging 9.9 rebounds a game this season. Steph, I probably would have put Steph there if he played the whole season. Yeah. But I don't know. Maybe if Lillard still did what he did, it'd be really hard. But yeah, and the forwards is kind of difficult. It was way more difficult than I thought. I saw somebody, I can't remember who it was, put Otto Porter in their third team All-NBA. The problem is there's like too many good guards. Like we talk about.
I'll put Bradley Beal over Porter easy.
That's what I was saying. Like, but he's a guard, so you can't even consider him because they've got Kyrie, Oladipo, and all them. Like you wouldn't put him over them. Harden, Lillard, Russ, and Steph were probably all top 10 players this season, and that's 4 spots. There's only 4 spots there. And then you got Kyrie, CP3 right behind them. I don't know, man. Eventually they're gonna take the center spot out, and they're just gonna have all forwards. Probably 2 guards and 3 forwards, like they do the All-Star game. But yeah, those are the teams. You got any other random thoughts about this NBA season? Any highlights this week? Just off the top, anything come to mind?
Oh yeah, prayers up to McCall, who took that hard fall the other day.
Oh yeah.
I know Vince Carter didn't mean to do it on purpose. Just.
Oh, beautiful pass to McCall and a foul. What a gorgeous look that was by Bella. Oh, let's hope McCall's all right.
Oh, he hit his.
Oh, boy.
Hit that.
You can see the reaction from Steve Kerr.
I know Vince Carter didn't mean to do it on purpose, just to, heat of the moment. He didn't know whether to contest or get out the way, kind of stuck in that. So, yeah, prayers up to McCall. Hope he's doing all right. Prayers for a speedy recovery.
Yeah, up for McCall. Hopefully he can get back to normal eventually. Anything else? I can't really think of anything.
Oh yeah, the next show on the 11th, Wednesday, I have an EP dropping on SoundCloud called Sincerely. So make sure y'all go check that out next Wednesday on April 11th. This is the prelude. I'm giving, the world before I drop my main album, Have a Nice Life, later this month. So be on the lookout.
But I think that's going to do it this week. Hopefully we'll be back next week. You can follow me on Twitter at IamDreTwice.
Follow me on SoundCloud at AP the Great.
Yeah, jump ball. We out.